Hi, boys and girls. How are you? Well, another week has come and gone. I have completed 5 books this week with a total of 954 pages contained within these books. 4 of them were Kindle Unlimited, so they were ebooks. And I completed one which was a paperback book. So the one that I completed that was a paperback book was a book of poetry by P.B. Shelley. And they were selected poems of his, and it was edited by John Holloway. I can't say he's one of my favorite poets that I've found. All of my poetry books I find in thrift stores. So I kind of pick them up and try and expand my horizons with poetry. This one was kind of middling, so I'd say it was about a C for me. The other 4 books were male romances. Let me see. Two of them were mafia books. So, where one of the main protagonists was involved in the mafia. The first book I read was titled Clay, and it was by D. Alex. There was 133 pages, and on Storygraph the rating was 3.51. Some highlights of this book. So the themes of this book, so it's a next-door neighbor romance with jealous exes, kind of like a stalker situation. But it was low angst. So there was difficulties with the stalker, but it wasn't like where he was going to be killed. And there was happily ever after in this book. The next book was Tate, and which was low angst with enemies to lovers. Tate was also written by D. Alex. There's, I don't know how many books. There could be 9 or 11 books by this author. This book was a novella, basically, at 154 pages with a 3.5 Storygraph rating. So Tate was, as I was saying, it was low angst, enemies to lovers. There was a bodyguard celebrity hookup situation, and that also was happily ever after situation. The next book was The Bratva's Intern by Gianni Holmes. This contained 323 pages, and it had a Storygraph rating of 4.06. One of the main protagonists was a mob boss businessman. It was a slow burn affair, basically. It involved an intern and his boss in a relationship, and there was a happily ever after ending to this one as well. And the last book I read was The Price of Mercy by Anna T. Pope. This is book 1 in a trilogy on a gangster family, the Moretti family. Slow burn, high stakes mafia romance. And as I said, it was the first installment. I don't know if I said. So let me see. There was 192 pages contained in this book with a 2.94 Storygraph rating. So all in all, I think it was a pretty good week of reading, and I look forward to my next week of reading. I still have multiple books going. I'm almost complete with another book, but I will tell you more about that in the future. So I hope everyone has had a good weekend, and I hope you have a good week. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.